but they don't hesitate to use stereotypes at every turn. Can you think of any group whose leaders do that? You say you're strong and independent, but the sad truth is, what you are is in denial. You told the world the reason black America's in the shape it's in is because the black man's not there. But who ran him off? You did. And who keeps choosing losers who won't stay? You do. And who's been raising these no good black men the last 40 years? You have. I look at the enormous number of children being raised by single mothers, and there's no denying most of today's black women are egotistical children who simply refuse to take the first and most important step in adulthood, accepting responsibility for one's decisions. It is simply impossible to get a black woman to take responsibility for anything. She chooses bad men? Well, it's because they're all bad. She has kids out of wedlock? Well, he should have brought protection. She can't find a decent man? He's intimidated by strong women. Dodging responsibility may make you feel better, but has it solved any of the problems? Because the common denominator in our problems comes back to the home. And who has been running the home? You have. Black America has taken on the characteristics of an immature woman. Indecisive, bitchy, petty as hell, and always making excuses for why things are so bad. You're strong and independent, but apparently you're not strong enough to raise a responsible child, and not independent enough to find a good man, though that doesn't seem to be a problem for white women. Black men are starting to decide to opt out on black women, and that's a major shame in and of itself. The black woman is the mother of humanity. But any man who can get a non-black woman does. Why is this? We need to look at it. They can't handle a strong woman. They want somebody gonna be a doormat. Oh, really? Let's take a look at the women these black men are choosing, and then take a look at who the black women choose for men, and we'll see who's getting walked on and who's not. White women are snatching up the good black men, and they are making happy lives together. Almost without exception, when a white woman gets with a black man, he isn't on drugs, he's respectful of her, he's accomplished, and he's loyal. They don't have children until after they're married. In other words, white women want a man, not a little boy they have to bail out of jail and argue with his ex-girlfriends. But the white woman is the doormat. You, on the other hand, have a series of losers working on their second or third strike. You think with your crotch, so when a man comes around, your first priority is getting yourself some thug lovin'. You and your male figure constantly fight. He has more ex-fiancés than he has fingers, and he hasn't had a job since you met him. He leaves you with kids, no child support, and no other man willing to take you. And you seek out this kind of treatment your entire lives. This isn't some bolt of lightning that hits you out of the blue. This is something you went out to find, and you were not satisfied until you found it. This is black female culture. But you say it's the white woman who's the doormat. The black man finds happiness with a white woman, and you're quick to remind him that lynchings often involved an accusation of rape or even something as petty as disrespect shown against a white woman. But you make up interracial fantasies about imaginary white men who can't wait to sleep with you. And on the few occasions when you do find some weirdo looking for a booty call, you suddenly stuff the attitude. No back talk, no acting out, no arguing for the sake of arguing. With a white man, you are on your best behavior. Whatever happened to strong and independent? Because I thought you were the ones who said that same white man raped you during slavery, turned you into a broodmare whose only purpose was to pop out more kids, only to see that white man you say you want so much sell them at auction. And for that white man to tell the world you were a Jezebel and a whore by nature. Yes, that was you who said those things. Your reputation as a hot-in-the-pants mammy was created by white men, and even the rappers who perpetuate that stereotype work for record labels owned by the descendants of those same white men. Oh, but the black man is the slave. The punchline to this joke is that these same black women have been threatening to date outside the race for 40 years. When asked why this exodus hasn't occurred, they chalk it up to loyalty to the race. You got a damn funny way of showing it. Stop me if you've heard this one before. You're at the McDonald's or the mall. Some black woman sits down next to you or near you. She has her cell phone glued to her hand, and she's in a loud conversation with, you guessed it, the baby daddy. Before long, she asks, "When you gonna come by and see your son?" She doesn't even bother to ask when he's going to come see her. She already knows. He hit it and quit it. But she was willing to do anything to keep him, including bringing a new life into this world that she didn't give a damn about, but will now be connected to until the day she dies. And we all know that's why we have so many illegitimate births. Black women are so self-centered, they look at these priceless children as nothing more than anchor babies, meant to keep men around who aren't worth 2 cents. That alone tells you what the black woman has degenerated into. And that's why black women so frequently mistreat their children. The children are reminders of the men that they wanted, and the babies that they didn't want in the first place. Now think about this. 70% of black children are born out of wedlock. 70%. You still want to tell me this isn't a black female problem? Black women have become ghetto schemers by and large, using tricks to get a man and more tricks to keep him. This is why black men can date out of the race and black women can't. And if black women are held in such high regard, why is it that the black man who some poor stupid fool recently wanted to characterize as the bottom of the totem pole now stands at the apex of world power? There were plenty of black women on the presidential ballot, and there have been for years, and even white women. But society saw something in the properly educated black man that they never saw in any strong, independent black woman. Your ego has driven you to madness. You don't want advancement anymore. You just want praise, whether it's deserved or not. You don't have authority, so you go looking for petty power, bully power, the kind that can only be enforced if the man allows himself to fall into arenas where the law, or in this case the website administrators, can be made to do what you want. And when he doesn't go for your power-tripping games, when he takes his balls and goes home, you cry no fair and bitch and complain that they can't handle a strong woman. That's why you spend so much time talking about why you're single and your illegitimate children. Marriage and the home were supposed to be your arenas by now, where you were going to be in charge. Instead, you outsmarted yourselves. Black men are airing the dirty laundry, and the best you can do is tell the world more ridiculous lies. We're going to go and get white men. People love black women. We're the hottest thing going. Well, let's look at the numbers and see if that's true. Blacks only make up 6% of business owners. That's probably why 15% of blacks are unemployed, more if you count those underemployed. Black children drop out of school at a rate of 50%. 70% of black women are single. Not surprisingly, 70% of black births are out of wedlock. And these black children go on to make up 45% of all state and federal prisoners. These statistics all have one thing in common: the strong, independent black woman who has been running the black home into the ground. You know, when you're 70th in this percentile and 50th in that one, you look kind of stupid waving the big foam rubber "we're number one" finger. The world is moving forward, and as it stands, the strong, independent black woman is getting left behind, because she's not strong or independent. She's a pathetic child who demands to be told she's great because the only thing she has is ego. What makes this truly sad is that the black woman is the mother of humanity. There was a time when her greatest virtue was internal strength, not external belligerence. She was respected back then. The women of today have failed to produce a Queen T. Instead, we get Queen Latifah. Where's our Queen Makeda? Today, it's Moesha. Queen Nzinga and Santiwa? No way, Beyonce and Little Kim are the new royalty now. Apparently, when it comes to greatness, this is the best black women can do. Could you see the queens of Egypt having sex with lowlifes, giving birth to babies they hate, and then bragging about themselves afterwards? You don't know what a queen is, and until you relearn it, don't expect anyone to want to respect you. I, for one, will say this. As a black man, I want our queens back. To hell with the divas.